Hello again, this is Tom from BuickSmith, and we're back on the 71 Grand Sport. Today we're going to do some aero testing. I've never been able to come across anything on YouTube with tuft testing on older muscle cars. So I'm going to do a little bit of it on the GS. Today we're going to do tufting mostly around the scoop area to just see what effect the air has coming over the scoops. And if we get to it, we'll do the rear wing also. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, so we're just going to be using red wool yarn. Got this for like $1.80 or whatever it was over at Walmart. Some masking tape or electrical tape. Surface on the old GS here isn't smooth as, you know, nice wax surface, so the electrical tape might hold a little bit better. And knife or scissors or something to cut the string with. That's really all we need. Alright, I've cut 24 pieces of electrical tape. They're maybe inch to inch and a half long, and now we'll do the yarn. Probably the easiest way of cutting your string is take 3 fingers and just wrap your yarn around. I've got 24 pieces, so let's go 12 times. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we're going to just cut the string off. Sharpen my scissors probably. And we're just going to snip through all of the strings at the same time. And then we should have 24 strings. I've got all of the tufts taped on. I'm pretty much just doing one side of the scoop in the center. Try to see how the air is flowing around. I've got some that kind of overhang into the middle. We'll see if they try to get sucked in down into the scoop. See if the scoops are actually working at all. And some right over the tailing edge to see if we're creating a vortice on top of the scoop. So all there is to do is try to stick a camera on this thing and go for a drive. Alright, I put a bunch of tufts on the back of the car also. Over the rear wing. Around the wing towers. Around the outside. And we'll have to test that also. Cold start. looking at this, all of these throughout here, around here, and in the back, they all had really nice attached flow. That meant they're all pointing in the same direction and they weren't wiggling very much. These right on top of here, this is all detached flow, and it's actually like a little reversion zone, I guess, because you could see these, they were all twisted up like this. And then these ones here, you could see that they were kind of going into the scoops, but I did want to mention that I do not have these scoops hooked up to the air cleaner at this point. So that could be why they weren't getting sucked in there. Might have had negative pressure from the inside of the under the hood, and maybe actually even kind of blowing them around. So that's kind of what I get from doing the study on the front here. And obviously the stock hood would just have attached flow all across here. So for mileage, we might do the stock hood for a while. We'll have to see. Here is a little more complicated. I think part of my problem is that I don't have the trim back in here by the rear window. This car went through a hailstorm some years back, and they had to put a new roof on it for me. And when they did that, they cut off my the little mounting tabs for the trim. They didn't put them back on the top, so I haven't been able to put my trim back on. So I may end up just filling this gap in with some urethane, maybe, just so I get a smooth edge. But I think that may be part of my problem, where these were just wiggling around so much back and forth, because they were all pointed in a straight line, which would indicate mostly attached flow. But when they're wiggling around like this, it could be something in front of it, such as the air coming off of the rear window. These, they were all pretty much nice and straight, and these up on top, these long ones, you could actually see these were actually bent over the top, so it looks like the air was actually coming over and folding. Same kind of with around here. We didn't really get to see this outside edge too much, but underneath, all of them were facing down, and then even the ones into the bumper were pretty much straight. So the air coming off the back is actually pretty good with the rear wing. We'll have to try it. I've got another deck lid that does not have the wing on it, and we might have to try just a stock one just to see if the air coming off the back is that clean. We did notice that these were either pretty much straight out by the tower, and the ones above it were actually kind of going up, so indicating the air coming off the bottom of the wing is moving faster than the top, and that's what we want. That's what creates downforce. It's not the air moving over the top of the wing, it's the air moving across the bottom of the wing. And the further distance, you know, just like an airplane wing is upside down, the airplane wing it's curved on the top, and the wind, and it's flat on the bottom, so the wind going over the top has to move faster than the air on the bottom, creating lift, whereas the spoiler or rear wing would be pushing the car down. And the spoiler, what I've learned, was actually there to spoil the air. It was kind of not so much to create downforce originally, but to spoil the turbulence coming off the back of the car, just to kind of clean it up. And that could be what's happening in this instance. I'm not sure, but we won't know unless we keep testing in future videos. So I never went to school for any of this stuff, but I've always had an interest in aerodynamics. But I've always loved muscle cars, which is kind of two ends of the same stick there. But this gentleman, he has really good videos on YouTube, and he's written some really great books on both aerodynamics and modifying your cars. I really highly recommend this book. It's pretty expensive. I think it was around $80 or $100. But I mean, you get what I mean. There's a lot of book there. There's a lot of information, a lot of great pictures, and I mean, it goes through pretty much anything you'd ever want to know about aerodynamics and how to improve it on your car or truck. They even go into semis on here and pickups. And I'm never really been great at math, so this book here is really great. This is the author here, and I picked these up on Amazon, of course. But you know, again, it's a pretty good sized book. I think this one is around 45 or something like that. But it's got all the, you know, all the calculations and stuff of pretty much anything automotive-wise you ever wanted to know. As for, you know, between figuring out flywheel inertias to your formulas for how much horsepower you need for going up an incline, and just, I mean, everything. So really great books, and hopefully they can help you guys out in something that you're doing. Oh, here's a little side note. So I do have one of the factory lower spoilers or lower air dams for this car, but I've just never put it on. But part of that setup has the plate that closes off this big gap between the bumper and the radiator core support. So I put that in, and it does go, you can't really see it, but it does go all the way into the back of the up by the fenders here. So here's a, see if we can get underneath here and see. You can kind of see it goes all the way out to the front edges of the fenders, but closes off that big hole there. I'm hoping that not only will I get a little bit better cooling from the radiator, but a little bit better air going under the car, at least in the most front part. So, you know, we won't know unless we try it. So here we go. Alright guys, well, what'd you think? Did we learn anything? Probably not. But it was fun anyway. And at least I know now that obviously the scooped hood has more drag than a stock hood, which we will be trying later at some point. And the rear wing actually does something. So, good on Buick. Alright, well, this has been Tom Brown, BuickSmith. Hope you get out there and work on your own projects, and we'll catch you later. Okay, bye.